All right, before we get into the charts, let's go over several articles and stay tuned to the end of the video. I'll give you the real price level to go long NIO. All right, so this article is coming from Invis. This is NIO stock price forecast, delivery forecast, downgrade likely. So NIO stock price has been in a free fall, and the situation could get worse in the coming week when the company publishes its financial results. We saw XPeng report earnings in the last week or two, and their deliveries were pretty bad as well. So that's one indication that price on NIO should fall even further from current price. NIO share price could suffer a rude wake-up call in the coming week when it publishes its financial results. These results will come on the backdrop of the company's week delivery numbers published this week. This is almost a given, and we'll get into it a bit more. The data show that the company delivered just 6,155 vehicles in May. It sold 7,024 vehicles in that period a year ago. NIO should be delivering more cars this year, considering that China, its primary market, that's key, has reopened after last year's zero COVID lockdowns. As such, the fact that the number of deliveries is not growing invalidates the view that this is a growth company at this time. That's key. It's not a growth company at this time. NIO has now delivered less than 45,000 cars this year. However, the company came out with a forecast of 250,000 cars delivered for 2023. All right, now if we look at NIO's deliveries over the last couple of years, the gray is 2001, and the what is this, beige, pinkish, was last year. And you can see how the number of deliveries grew from 2021 to 2022. However, you can see that 2023 is thus far a bit less. Well, I guess the months vary. February was their best month on hand relative to the prior 2 years at 12,157. They were about the same as last year for March. But if you look at the numbers here, first quarter, if they did 45,000 cars, if you extrapolate that out, that's roughly a little under 200,000, which is roughly 20% less than what they're forecasting. All right, let's get into this other article from Invis again. NVIDIA share price has plunged despite the company's revenue growth. Its annual revenue jumped from over 719 million in 2018 to over 7.14 billion. All right, so it's economy of scales, folks. They are losing money now because they have to build out their infrastructure, their factories. It's economies of scale game. This makes it one of the best performing Chinese companies in this period. The analysts expect that the revenue will jump to over 21 billion in 2025. Okay, that's key too. So they plan on jumping from 7 billion last year to triple that by 2025. So that's key as well. Despite this revenue growth, NIO has been a cash burning machine as its annual losses have jumped from 500 million in 2016 to 2 billion in 2022. Analysts believe that the company will continue bleeding cash until 2025. Again, economies of scales. They're looking at the company becoming profitable in 2025. The question is, how much cash do they have on hand? Obviously, they're going to have to go back into the public markets to raise more capital through the form of diluting their stock, which is going to put pressure on their earnings, which means eventually pressure on the stock price. The most important challenge in the industry is the rising competition in the industry. Data shows that there are now over 90 EV brands in China. A small number of these firms are giant companies that you know, BMW, Tesla, Volkswagen. The other challenge for NIO is its international growth. The company has announced that it will expand to some European markets. I believe that the company could struggle to compete in some of these markets. Again, it's going to need capital to grow internationally. So the article is saying, I only recommend buying into NIO when it moves above the 50-week moving average at $14. This price coincides with the highest point in December 5th. All right. And before we go to the charts, these are the top selling brands in China for Q1. You can see BYD, which is a Chinese company, followed by Volkswagen, Toyota, have Honda, BMW, and Tesla. So NIO couldn't even crack the top 10. Their sales were about 45,000, which would make their share roughly 1%. All right. So we're going to start with the monthly chart, and this is part of the real level to buy. Now price is at $7.56 right now. I do have a target at $6, and at that point I anticipate price bottoming. We might get lower lows, but that's going to be the point where price starts to bottom. Why? Because if you look to the left, you have resistance and you have support. Now the real level to buy is when you see a reversal pattern in the form of a W. Let's give you an example here. Right, so you have last time it formed a W was back in 2020, and when price broke the apex, it was off to the races. And price got as high as $67. Now price is fractal, meaning the price patterns that you see on, say, a higher time frame are going to show also on a lower time frame as well. Right, so we want to look for this type of pattern, at least on the weekly chart. A daily chart would be too minute, right? You want to pull back, and I'm looking for a W pattern on the weekly chart. Okay, also on the monthly chart you can see this is going to be when price gets to $6. You're going to have this accumulation phase where people are going to start loading up, and as you can see, I'm projecting price to pull down, bottom, start moving higher. That may take a year or two from June of this year. All right, let's go down to the weekly chart. And we can see that price continues to make lower highs and lower lows. The most recent price action, price did break out to the downside from this range bound price action. Usually when you have a breakout, price likes to revisit that origin of the breakout, which it did, and now price is continuing to dwindle down. Now we can see price basing again. However, I anticipate that on their earnings, which is due on June 6th or June 9th, we'll probably get another break out to the bottom. All right, let's go to the daily chart. Just want to revisit the W pattern on the monthly that we saw on the daily. So I'm looking for this type of pattern to occur on the daily chart in current time. What we should see is a leg down, and then a leg higher, and then a retest, and then a break of the most recent high. What you can say, so what we're looking for is on the daily chart, we're looking for some type of double bottom. And then a breakout of the most recent pivot high. That's going to be your signal to go and buy NIO. All right, let's go back to the weekly chart. So that W pattern that we're looking for, also a double bottom, could occur around the $6 level. So I'm saying that the pattern, the reversal pattern that we're looking for is going to be between $4 and $6. In my opinion, if you wait until price hits $14, like the article mentioned, you're going to miss a move of 100 to 200%. However, it's not wrong to wait until price closes above $14 because that will give you additional confirmation that price is going to move higher. However, what could happen is once price breaches the $14, it may pull back, and then you may be in the red on paper anyway. Waiting until price breaches the $14 is not bad, as we've seen from the monthly chart over time, and by 2025 NIO will be profitable. So getting to the levels of the previous highs at $60 is feasible, which from $14 would still be a 5-6x. However, if you believe in the company longer term, getting in as low as possible will increase your reward to risk ratio. So let's do this. Kind of project out. That will take us into let's move this out. We want this W pattern to coincide with the yellow curve. So let's do this. So we have various confluences. We have a resistance support band at $6. We have this, I'll call this yellow accumulation phase. And then we're projecting that we're going to see some type of W pattern on the daily chart form. How does that look on the weekly? Not bad. On the monthly, not bad. So potentially the real level to buy NIO is going to be at $6. Not when it hits it, but when it leaves, after forming a reversal pattern such as the W pattern, double bottom on the monthly chart, accumulation phase, resistance support band at $6. Let me know what you think. Leave me a comment. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Please like the video.